Hello, hello. So glad to be here per usual, as always. And we have a lot to discuss today. So, today we're going to be talking about how to get started without owning the licensed property. And I think that this is a big hurdle for people, right? With getting started and breaking into the business of care. It's a hurdle to get the property, to buy it. I made a post, was it last week? That I think I said something along the lines, I say a lot, you guys, so sometimes it's hard to remember. But I said something along the lines of, stop trying to get the property first before knowing your options. You're shooting yourself in the foot, something along those lines. And it's very, very true. It's very true. And I stand by that 1000%. I also stand by you knowing your options as you're breaking into the business. I can't tell you how many people that I talked to who have started one type of care. It didn't pan out for them. They really only looked at that one type through a certain lens. And I'm not going to say they didn't do their market research. I don't think that was fair. It would be fair to say, but they just didn't know their options, right? And I believe that once you really know your options, you can make a really well-informed decision based off the path that you want to go on. And then you have the flexibility to pivot. So that's kind of the direction we're going to go in this conversation. I want you guys to engage with me in the comments, all of that fun stuff. I'm going to do my best. I prayed to the tech gods that everything would work out on this live stream. So hopefully that will pan out right. I want to do a quick introduction, so bear with me. There's 1.5 minutes and we'll get rocking, okay? So if you're new to the group, welcome. My name is Ariana Jay. I own a 7-figure home and community-based agency in Alaska. My mission is to help current and aspiring providers to start, grow, and scale their licensed assisted living group home or community have business so they can make massive impact and income. So that's what I'm doing here. I have a couple group homes. I have clients outside of my group homes, services outside of my group homes. So I really want you guys to be able to go out and make massive impact and income so you can build wealth through care and have the time freedom, financial freedom, and leave a legacy that you will absolutely love. So that's me. That's my little intro. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in to the meat and potatoes of today's topic. Make sure you guys stay to the end because I'm going to let you know a special project I was working on actually this morning in a really cool email that I sent out for my agency. I want to talk to you just a little bit about that. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to share. My brain is just a little foggy because I just got finished focusing on that, but I'm going to try to stay focused today. So if I need help with getting back on track, let me know in the comments, okay? All right, so getting started. There is so much to this, okay? And I'm going to give you guys a little backstory of how I came online to support people with getting started and what my findings were, and a little bit about that too, okay? So when you're looking at trying to get started, the 3 things that you need to understand are the clientele you want to serve, the type of care that you want to provide, right? And then we need to look at your experience and all of that, okay? And how soon you're going to get started, all of those things. Those are like the common 3 things that you need to really understand, because the type of service, whether you're looking at assisted living or group home, community habit, all varies on the clientele that you want to provide to serve. So if you're breaking into this business and you're hell bent and you're like, okay, I'm serving the age population, I want to do licensed assisted living, and this is my niche, this is my jam, and this is where I'm going to go. This is the direction I'm going to enter in on. But if this is you and you are like, this speaks to me, then you're really going to like what I have to say. So then you go and you have to decide, am I going to buy a property? Am I going to lease a property? What am I going to do? You can buy a property, right? You can definitely buy the property. I have a couple properties. My business leases from me, and I charge over market rate for those rents. You can lease a property. Definitely do that. My first 2 were leased, so you can definitely do that. The people who come to me and say that they cannot lease a property, I'm going to give you some good tips here too. So those are the 2 options that you have. You can buy a property or you can lease a property. With buying a property, you can go and do a FHA loan or something along those lines to get into the game, right? To buy the property. Some states will have special financing for the assisted living cares industry, right? And then you can go and you can buy a property through that program. I did one. I got into a $400-something thousand house with 0 down through a program like that in my state. They have gotten a little bit more stringent over the years with the requirements, because you have these bigger agencies going and buying 15, 20, 30 homes. And so, you have that too. You can also lease. And when we first started, Andre and I, it came down to buying a place or leasing. Okay. We decided to go ahead and lease a place because, you don't know how the business is going to turn out, for one, right? This is a new venture. You're still trying to wrap your head around everything. We weren't for sure that we wanted to go and buy a place. Could we have? We could have, but we chose not to. We decided to lease. And what I really like about leasing, it gives you the freedom and flexibility to try it out with not the super heavy investment of going to buy a place. Now, with leasing, you may be limited on the amount of clientele you're able to serve based off your state's regulations, right? They might say, you can only have so many clients in this house without having a sprinkler system, or without this certain zoning restriction or requirement. There's some things to it, and you just have to understand that going into it, right? There's some states where they might say, no, you have to have a fire sprinkler system. So in order for you to even lease a place, you need to lease a place that has a fire sprinkler in the facility, in the building, right? But still, the leasing option made the lift a little bit lighter, right? You still have going through your licensing, your certification, if you want to do the Medicaid bit, but you don't have the heavy lift of buying a property. It's more so going out there. It's a numbers game when you're trying to lease, right? Going out there, putting yourself out there. You're going to get rejected quite a bit, but keeping that right cadence so you can land the yes, and then you have to set the home up, right? You still have to do that. But for us, it felt like an easier lift to be able to do that, if you know what I mean, okay? So if you're trying to get started without owning the licensed property, and you're wanting to do licensed assisted living or group home, then leasing can be a very good option for you. Now, this is for the people who say they can't find anybody to rent from. I'm going to give you the biggest point of them all, the biggest tip of them all when it comes to getting a lease, securing a lease. This is the biggest thing. Most people cannot, I repeat, cannot nail this. It's so fucking important. The key to leasing a property for your licensed assisted living or group home, and you're going to be like, she don't know what she's talking about. I'm telling you, I've done it twice. You have to know your service, and you have to know who you're serving and what the home is going to be used for. And you could be like, yeah, it's for assisted living. Who's going to be in the home? What's going to go on in that home, right? Be extremely clear on that. The other thing that you need to do when you are presenting this is you have to, I repeat, you have to present it in a way that the landlord or property owner is getting the best bang for their buck, and you are literally handing them what they want on a silver platter. You have to, because if you don't, they will immediately go to the worst. Their mind will kind of wander out, and then you're going to be constantly coming back and being like, no, but that's not how it is, or no, this, or no, that. You're gonna get the people like, I don't know, I don't think so. You're gonna get that constantly. Okay. I have been able to come in and I have been able to nail this. When I walk into a house or a place that I want to lease, and I've done this with Airbnb too, with Airbnb arbitrage, hell yeah, I do the same shit. The key to getting the lease is you have to meet the need of the property owner or landlord. And I know you're probably like, well, what the fuck does that mean? That's really vague. What do they want? They want their property taken care of, right? They want the rents paid on time, and they really don't want to be bothered with what happens in that home. And they want to know that your business is not going to affect them in any way, but then they also want to be a part of the impact. So you guys, when I'm talking about impact, right? It goes beyond just serving. Like, people rally around you because of the causes that you're a part of, because of the impact you're going to make. Now, they might not be able to make that impact themselves, but people always like to help and support. That's why there's donations, right? People give, what is it called? Charitable donations. That's why people do that. They give to the causes. They're not going to be the one to go out and do said thing, whatever it is. But if you're going to do that, they'll do that through you. So when you are out there and you're marketing and you're trying to, not necessarily marketing, but trying to get a place, keep that in mind when you are pitching, because there is a pitch, there is a buy-in from that person, okay? It's really important, and most people don't understand how to get people to rally with them, to stand behind them in the cause that they're wanting to do, right? That's why, like, fundraisers, or what are those people called for, like, nonprofit organizations where their whole role is to go around and to raise money, right? I forget the name of them. I forget what their name is, but that's their whole job, is to go around and raise money. And part of that is getting people to believe in you. And when it comes to selling, when it comes to service, if you can serve the person where they're at, right? If you make it about them and make it about other people and not about you, you'll be surprised at the results that you have. I promise you. That's like business 101. Like, you shouldn't make it about you. And if you can learn to tailor that and articulate that and pitch that, the sky is absolutely the limit. Okay. Now let's talk about if you don't want to buy and you don't want to lease, what can you do? How can you break into this business? So this is where Community Hab comes in, because you don't need a property at all. You don't need a property at all. So then you just really eliminate the barrier of buying a property or leasing a property, furnishing a property, or getting approval on a property. You don't have any of that. You don't have any of that. Can you build a 7-figure business with Community Hab alone? Yes, you can. Can you service stack with Community Hab alone? Yes, you can. Is it better with assisted living and group home? Oh, absolutely. But can you do it without it? Yes, you can. You don't need a property. You don't need to buy a property or lease a property. You can do Community Hab. So I always get the question, well, Ariana, what is Community Hab? What is it? And in a nutshell, it's a variety of different services that you can provide to different populations, and based off that population, there's different services. Okay, so in summary, that's what it is. I believe that everybody should know their options, and in that, you should know about Community Hab, because this can be a real game changer for you. My mentor and friend, she didn't even have any group homes for like 7 years. She started with Community Hab, and she did Community Hab for like 7 years. Then she added on group homes, and now she has like 5 or 6 locations, right? Group homes are a big money maker. Can you grow and scale without one? You absolutely can. I recommend Community Hab, and I would recommend it based off the population you want to serve, and then we would look at the service that you can provide from there. You have so many options, and you don't even have to worry about getting the property. Now, within Community Hab is adult day, right? And like adult day center. So if you wanted to do that, you go get a commercial lease. Commercial leases are super freaking easy to get, right? And you could get a center and do that. If you wanted to do day hab, right? What I do when I say I'm playing to play, or I get paid to play, and I do that in the community, you can do that in a center and get a commercial space and do that. That's doable too, right? But you're still not having to go get a residential property, buy it or lease it or something like that, right? You have so many options, and the income potential is great. Obviously, you know, with group home and assisted living, you have a certain amount of residents, you have 1 or 2 staff, and you're able to scale it and make a lot of money, right? When you're looking at Community Hab, you're going to need a higher staffing ratio to client, right? So you're going to be more staff heavy, but it doesn't mean that you can't make the income. And you're going to stack and tailor that according to the population you're serving, the amount of clientele you have. All of those good things go into it, and we just strategize on what that would look like with how you're going to grow and where you're going to scale to, right? Either way, whether you're starting with licensed assisted living and group home, buying or leasing a property, or you're starting with Community Hab, you have the potential to make the income you want and the impact that you desire, right? We don't go into this to solely make the money, right? I don't, and I don't help anybody who, if you put on your application, you're just trying to make a buck, you will find yourself with a rejection email in your inbox, okay? Because I don't want to be a part of that. That's not the energy, that's not the alignment that I want to be with. I want to be a part of people in a community that want to help and serve. And yes, we want to make income, right? But we want to lead with impact. And so this is the piece where you can really figure out what's the impact you want to make that aligns with you right now, but also that you can grow into. So you can get started with any niche, you can get started with any population, and then the amount, where you want to start will depend greatly on you, okay? If I was going to start, I funded my whole business when I first got started, okay? I'm not even gonna shade y'all on that. I did. I used my own capital, and I don't think I've ever said this before. I needed like an extra $3,500, right? And I had this four-wheeler. I wasn't really using a whole lot. And I told Douglas, I was like, I need to sell that. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I need an extra $3,500, sell that. So we sold it. I had my monies, I had my funds, and we got started. It was a heavy lift, you all. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say that it wasn't, right? It was a heavy lift, but if I would have started with just Community Hab, I wouldn't have had to come out of pocket for hardly anything. What would I had to come out of pocket for? Let me think. I would have had to come out for my insurance premium, right? I would have had to come out of pocket for that. And I think that's it. I wouldn't have had to come out of pocket for anything else. I'm trying to think. I would have had to come out of pocket for my software, right? Once I was approved. Was there anything? I don't think there was anything else. If I would have just started with Community Hab for like life skills and community support, I wouldn't have came out of pocket with any of it. I wouldn't have came out of pocket with fees to submit my application. I would have, wait a minute. I would have come out of pocket like $600 for the Medicaid fee to become an enrolled provider. So there's that fee. What was the other fee I said? My COI. I would have had to come out of fee for that. So I don't know, maybe max $2,500. I would have come out versus the thousands upon thousands that I came out the other way. And I also teach you, like, if you want to do the assisted living and you don't want to buy or lease, there is another option. If you are a homeowner or you have a place already, we can talk about, you know, structuring that. But I wouldn't have come out of pocket with hardly anything to do the Community Hab. And then it's literally marketing to get the clients, hiring the staff, and then providing the service. So it can happen that fast. You know what I mean? It can happen that fast. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time with their head down thinking about it, overthinking, perseverating on it. They look up, they finally lift their chin, they look up, and it's 6 months has passed. You guys know it's almost the end of 2022. Like, we're going into 2023, and some of y'all asses have been in this group watching my live videos, and y'all haven't been doing no action because there's a cost associated with some things. Now, let me tell you this. I'm not meant for everybody. I know I'm not meant to serve every one of you. I know that, and that's okay with me. But damn, like, go do it on your own. This group is for impact, for purpose. I'm not up here just talking to y'all just to talk. Like, I'm sure all y'all are cool and whatever, but like, take the information and run with it. How long are you going to be sitting with your head down thinking about stuff? You want your life to change, but then you don't do anything and you're thinking about it. You want to make impact. You think about all the people you can serve, but it's not that big of a deal for you because you're going to sit there with your head down. You're going to think about it, right? You complain about your job, but you don't do anything to change it, right? You complain about you don't have any money to do whatever activity you want to do, but you don't want to actually invest to get yourself out of that rut. It makes no sense, but I understand. The unknown is scary. The unknown of actually how it's going to go is scary. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. And I'll use myself as an example. When people know I'm behind something, they know it's going to be done to the best of its ability and capability because they know me as a person, right? If you can't stand behind yourself with confidence that you are going to follow through on your dreams, wants, and desires, what else is there? It doesn't matter that you have a mentor or a coach or support or network that's going to help push you along. If you don't believe in yourself, how in the world do you expect other people to believe in you and your capabilities, right? It comes down to what you want. What do you want? What do you want? Put in the chat what you want. Tell me what you want. Verbalize what you want. Put it on a board what you want. Most people don't know what the fuck they want. All they can tell you is they're miserable with their life, but they can't tell you what the fuck they want, which is insane because how in the world do you expect to get to where you want to go if you don't know, baby? How do you expect that? How do you expect to hit a target that you can't see? Luck? How's that going for you? How's that going for you? I'm not up here for entertainment. I'm not. I'm here to make impact. I'm here to make impact, right? At the beginning of the year, if you were here in the group, you might remember me saying, I want to help 100 providers this year, 2022. That's what I said. This time last year, the Startup Provider Program wasn't even created. I think we were in the second rounds of 30 Days of Accountability with Ariana Jay. I think that's what was going on this time last year. I didn't have this program for you guys. And I can tell you guys a story on that a little bit later. The program launched, I think it was in November. And I had the original 4 join the program. Shout out to Mahogany, Rontoya, Shawanda, and Dakisha. They were the original 4. Since that program launched, we have over 40 members in the program. The program continues to change and evolve and get better and better and better. The purpose and the reason why I do that is for the mission. And the mission is to help providers, current and aspiring, start, grow, and scale their business. Okay? I didn't need to put an extra ounce of energy and effort into that program because the members were already happy with what it was. But I want it to be better. I want you guys to do better. I want to support you in ways. That's why I extended things. I've added things. I'm in the process of adding something right now, adding some more things right now to better support you, right? There was no roadmap for this. How in the hell do we make a program that helps everybody in every single state, no matter what kind of care that they're going to provide, as long as they're within licensed assisted living, group home, or community hab? How? And it came over time. And that's, we as people grow and evolve over time. Our ideas grow and evolve over time, right? This program has grown and evolved over time. When I first started this group was to help DSPs become CEOs. If you know, you know. If you're part of the original, 50, 100 people in this group, then you know. This group was not designed for what it is now. I wanted to help DSPs become CEOs. I learned over time that the DSPs were not in the mind frame to become CEOs. Some of them were, but most of them were not, right? Their mindset was to provide care. So then I kind of pivoted. I pivoted a little bit. And I said, anybody who has a passion for care and anybody who wants to make an impact, I'm going to help you start your licensed assisted living home. And then is Rontoya here? Rontoya, are you here? When did I do that master class? Was it 2021? I think I did a master class. I think it was, 2021, January, the end of January 2021, I did a master class. And it was a group home startup master class. And there was about 37 people attended. Master class was supposed to only be like 60, 90 minutes. It turned out to be 3 hours. Their minds were blown. Their minds were exploded. Amazing, right? Then I went to working with clients one-on-one. And I thought, okay, I'm going to help clients one-on-one start their licensed assisted living or group home. We didn't even touch on community hab at that time. Even though I was doing it, I didn't even think about it really. So I started working. I worked with, maybe 6 to 8 individual clients. And I realized very quickly that they needed help beyond the 5 weeks I was working with them or 8 weeks I was working with them, right? Fast forward a little bit, accountability with Ariana Jay came. I did 3 rounds of that, realized very quickly, oh my God, these members need more support. That's when the Startup Provider Program was born, okay? And I put it out there I didn't even create it yet. I put it out there to see if the members of this group would be interested in it. And just like that. And it's grown and evolved and grown and evolved. So if you have the passion for care, if you want to make impact, lasting impact, if you want to make the income that you've always dreamt of, you've always desired, and you're willing to put in the work, the energy, and the effort to make it happen, I invite you to apply to work with me inside of the Startup Provider Program. The program started out to be 90 days. The program is now 12 months. You have 12 months of support, weekly coaching calls inside of this program. The program is robust. There's a lot in that program. You're going to be challenged to show up when you don't want to. You are going to be challenged to do the work. I will not do it for you, but I will challenge you to do the work, and I will provide you the support along the way. That's my promise to you. The thing is, there is an investment. But my question to you, if you do not want to invest with my program or someone else's program, that's fine. But if your intent is to make impact, you need to get your ass up and you need to go do it yourself. Don't just sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. Do it yourself. If you want support in doing it, I'm happy to support you. But if you don't, then go it alone and make the impact and the income that you've always wanted. Period. Because there is something with serving. There is something with doing the work and getting the result, right? Your life will be forever changed. But if you don't do it and you keep your head down, nothing will change. You will continue to be in the spot of stuckness or in the spot that you can't stand or you hate. That's what will happen. And we're going to go into 2023. I'm going to be happy as fuck. The members of my program are going to be ecstatic about the possibilities that they're going to have. But you, my friend, if you don't take any action by yourself or with a mentor, with community, you're going to be stuck in the same spot in 2023. And I'm not saying that just to say it. That's facts. You guys have a lot to say. I want to assist those with disabilities and live and function in society without limitations. Absolutely, Raquel. Like, that's what it's all about. Community hab and the services that we're providing, this is all about improving or maintaining a skill. This is not housing. Okay? I want you guys to understand that this is not housing. I want to set up a residential living facility. The comment just moved. With one of my rentals. Definitely do it. Definitely do it. PSS services aspire and grow. I love it. I love it. I love it. All action. Yes, yes. Someone says, do you have a class? So I have the starter provider program, which I mentioned. That is what I have to offer. I do want to talk about something real quick, and I have to wrap up here in a second because we have our weekly call. There are some of you, I get messages all the time about scheduling a one-on-one call with me. Scheduling a one-on-one call. And I'm going to take a poll right now. You guys who are live, you guys let me know in the comments. Here is my stance with like a consultation call. I have not yet done one where we've ended the call and then you no longer needed support, right? I haven't. And my one-on-one calls are about $1,000, right? So for me, I'm like, I don't feel like it serves you. The information, yes, it's going to serve you, right? But you're going to need support after that call. I promise you. There's not one person, not one that I have helped and I've done a call with where we've had a 30-minute or 60-minute call and then they're good to go. Why? Because it doesn't happen like that. Like getting through licensing, finding your regulations, submitting your application, drafting your policies, like learning the requirements. It doesn't happen like that. Even when you're scaling, I can take your money and do, a 60-minute call with you. But I guarantee you're going to need the support after the call. So here's what it is. And I'm going to let you guys talk to me about this. Tell me what you guys want. If you wanted to do a call with me, it's still going to cost you. But instead of doing an hour-long call, right, we can do the call and then have a Voxer day, or I can do a Voxer week with you guys. So what Voxer is almost like a walkie-talkie, like Facebook Messenger, but it's different and I really, really like it. But the thing is that when you get off that call, you'll be able to implement, but then also you have the support for a couple of days, okay? So if that was an option, if you would be interested in that, that would be great. Let me know. But I also want to say this is like, do not think that you're going to be able to make the moves in that call or in that support for that week that you would be able to make with the starter provider program. It's not going to happen. And I'm also not going to give you the resources that are within that program. Okay. So I just want to draw that line in the sand. You're not going to get that. You're not. There's just, it's setting you up for failure, and I'm just not going to do that. So those are my thoughts on the one-on-one calls, because I know a lot of you ask me, oh, can I talk to you on the phone, or I'll pay for it, blah, 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 blah. So that's my stance on that. Jenny says, do you assist with setting up independent living for adult children that age out of care? Also, are you able to assist with the time frame on how long it will take, asking for budgeting purposes? So here's the thing with you guys. A lot of people want to start independent living for aged out foster youth, okay? And I'm going to be very, very, very transparent in this. You can do that without my program if you are looking for the $300 a month rate. If you want to make more money over and above $300 a month for the aged out foster youth, right? And you want to be paid by the state or the government to do it, then you'll do that within my program. Think about it. Do you think that somebody who's aged out foster care is going to qualify, or who's going to be able to pay you 10 grand a month? It's not going to happen. So then when you start to think about the population you're going to serve, who's going to fund that, right? So if you're thinking about funding that outside of their individual private pay $300 a month, then we need to look above and beyond, Okay. I think a lot of people get that kind of confused. So yes, my program will help you with that. Okay. Let me see. What is something else considered to be community hab? So community hab can be, so we have day hab life skills, we have employment services, we have in-home support where you're supporting the individual in their home, right? It's not home care. Don't get it confused. Don't get it confused because it's not that. So there's nursing services, there's therapy services, there's all kinds of stuff within community hab. All right, my friends, I have to run for this call for the Startup Provider Program. I actually really do got to go. So if you want to work with me inside of the Startup Provider Program and you have a few more questions before you're ready to pull the trigger on that, send me a DM. If you are ready to pull the trigger and you're like, I'm in it, it's go time, go to workwitharianaj.com and apply. We will be back. We will be in contact with you on your application status. Okay. So that's how you, if you want to work with me, that's what you do. Okay. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.